Listen closely. The following content is not advice, it is a stream of consciousness you voluntarily chose to endure. We accept absolutely zero responsibility for any chaos, financial ruin, emotional damage you sustain by treating these ramblings as facts. If you act on what you hear, the consequences that may transpire from your silly-ass choices coupled with an inability to follow directions is all yours. Regarding communication, don't. The contact link is a placebo. We are not reading your emails, we are not interested in your feedback, and we certainly do not care if you are offended. Scream into the void if you must, but do not expect the void to answer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is Unbound Out of Place.
Did you hear it? The glass door shattered. August 1st, 1946, McMinn County, Tennessee. This isn't a fairy tale. This is American history. They stopped teaching you because they are terrified you might repeat it. 3,000 GIs, soldiers, had just come home from fighting the Nazis and the Japanese in World War II. They got off the boats and went back to their farms in Tennessee. But they didn't come home to freedom. No. They came home to a fiefdom run by Sheriff Paul Cantrell. Cantrell was a tyrant. For 10 years, he and his deputies had rigged every election. They beat people up. They fined tourists. They ran a racket. If you voted against them, you got your head cracked open. On Election Day, 1946, the GIs decided they had enough. They ran their own ticket. They monitored the polls. Cantrell didn't like that. At 3 o'clock p.m., 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Cantrell's deputies, armed mercenaries, really, seized the ballot boxes. They pistol whipped the poll watchers. They threw the veteran observers through plate glass windows. They took the votes to the county jail, locked the heavy iron doors, and prepared to count them in secret. Just like they always did. They were going to steal the election, right in front of the men who had just saved the world. But these weren't civilians anymore. These were combat veterans. They didn't file a lawsuit. They didn't call the DOJ. They didn't protest with signs. They went to the National Guard Armory and they broke in. They armed themselves, rifles, Thompsons, dynamite. They marched on the jail. They surrounded it. They told the sheriff, "Bring out the ballot boxes and we won't kill you." The sheriff refused. So the GIs opened fire. For hours, they laid siege to their own county jail. Bullets chewed up the bricks. Tracers lit up the night. This wasn't a riot. It was a tactical military operation conducted by citizens against a corrupt government. At 3:30 in the morning, the GIs got tired of waiting. They taped dynamite to the jail porch. The porch collapsed. The porch collapsed. The deputies surrendered. They came out with their hands up, terrified. The GIs didn't execute them, and they didn't lynch them. They walked past the shivering deputies, went into the jail, and carried the ballot boxes out into the street. They counted the votes right there on the sidewalk, under the streetlights. The GIs won. The machine was broken. The corrupt sheriff fled town and never came back. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the grand overwrite. It isn't about asking nicely. It isn't about waiting for the system to correct itself. The system is never going to correct itself. The system protects itself. The Battle of Athens proved that when the government becomes a criminal enterprise, the citizenry has the moral authority and the duty to physically dismantle it. They didn't wait for permission. They took it back. And tonight, I'm going to talk about how we take ours back. Welcome back to Unbound and Out of Place. I'm that one guy, and I'm fucking done being polite. For 2 episodes, I've been using analogies. I've been talking about the theater and the managers and the script. I did that because sometimes you have to soften the blow. You have to wrap the truth in a story so people don't fucking choke on it. But this is the finale, and I'm tired of the poetry. Let's be crystal fucking clear. There is no theater. There is a government that hates you. There are no managers. There are unelected bureaucrats, corrupt politicians, and corporate parasites who are actively stealing your labor, your future, and your children's inheritance. We aren't rewriting a script. We are at war. It's a quiet war. They aren't shooting at us yet. Well, because they don't have to. They are bleeding us dry instead. They are inflating your currency until your paycheck is worthless. They are regulating your business until you can't operate. They are brainwashing your kids in schools that you pay for. I spent 11 years in HVAC and plumbing. When a pipe bursts, I don't write a poem about it. I don't call it a fluid dynamics anomaly. I call it a leak, and I fix it. This country has a leak. The people in charge, the ones in DC, the ones in the boardrooms, they are the rust. They are the corrosion. And you don't negotiate with rust. You cut it out. Tonight is about the cutting. I'm not here to give you hope. Hope is for people who are waiting to be saved. I'm here to give you a wrench. We call this the Grand Overwrite, but let's strip the fancy title. This is about replacing their broken, corrupt system with our own functioning one. It's about making them irrelevant. They want you to protest. Fine, protest. They'll ignore you. They want you to vote. Fine, vote. They'll rig it or buy the winner. The only thing they fear is when you stop needing them. The only thing that terrifies a parasite is a healthy host that knows how to take medicine. Let's get to work. Listen to that. That's not a sound effect. That is a machine in my shop creating a physical object from nothing. I'm printing a bracket. It's a mount for a tank bag. I'm designing for my KTM 690 Enduro R. Why am I telling you this? Well, because this machine is a weapon. For the last 50 years, the deal was simple. You work a job you hate to earn dollars that are worth less every day, so you can buy plastic garbage from a store that imports it from a country that wants us dead. That is the supply chain. You are the consumer. They are the supplier. You are the mouth. They are the spoon. As long as you are dependent on their ships, their factories, and their permission to buy what you need, you are a slave. I don't care how much money you make. If they close the port, you starve. If they stop selling the part, your machine breaks. The override is about seizing the means of protection. And I don't mean in some communist manifesto bullshit way. I mean literally, in your garage. This printer, it cost me a few $100, close to $1,000. But with it, I can replace a broken part on my dishwasher that the manufacturer says is obsolete. I can print a custom tool to fix my bike. I can print a firearm receiver if I damn well please because I have. They hate this. The state relies on regulation. They want to ensure that every product you touch has been stamped, taxed, inspected, and approved by 20 different fucking agencies. They want a cut of every fucking transaction. When I design a part in CAD and print it here in Newton, Iowa, who gets the tax? Fucking nobody. Who gave the permission? Fucking nobody. Who checked the safety standards? I did. I am the quality control. I am the manufacturer. I am the end user. It is a closed loop, and a closed loop is a fortress. You need to stop looking at 3D printers, CNC machines, and welders as hobbies. They are essential infrastructure for a free life. If you can't build it, you don't own it. If you can't fix it, you're renting it. I see guys my age who can't change a tire. They can't solder a wire. They call a guy for everything. They call a, quote, guy, unquote, for everything. They are soft, and soft people get crushed when hard times come. The government is counting on you being helpless. They are counting on you panicking when the shelf is empty. Prove them wrong. Buy a printer. Buy a soldering iron. Learn to weld. Stop being a consumer. Be a producer. Because when the supply chain snaps, and it's gonna snap, the man who can make his own bracket is the man who keeps his machine running. The man who has to wait for Amazon delivery is going to be walking. Unless you have to buy fucking filament, which that's a, yeah. I wish I knew how to make filament. I would definitely do that. I would go that route. I haven't quite got that far yet. I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. I'm not claiming that I do. Now let's talk about the blood. Money. I'm going to be blunt. The US dollar is a fraud. It's not fiat currency. It's a lie printed on cotton blend paper. It is a promissory note from a bankrupt entity that has $34 trillion in debt and no intention of ever paying it back. Every time you keep your savings in a bank account, you are lending money to the people destroying your country. You are giving them capital to wage wars you don't support, to fund programs you hate, and to pay the salaries of the agents who spy on you. And worse, they can turn it off. We saw it in Canada with the truckers. We see it with banks, the banking gun manufacturers. We see it with payment processors banning speech they don't like. If your money requires their permission to spend, it is not your money. It is an allowance. You are a child, and the government is a strict father holding the purse strings. You think you're a free man? Try to withdraw $10,000 of your own cash from the bank today. Watch what happens. You get interrogated. You fill out forms. You get put on a list. That is not freedom. That is a prison visitation where they let you hold your belongings for just a few minutes. The Overwrite is opting out of their ledger. I talk about crypto. I trade on crypto.com. I look at the charts, but I'm not talking about getting rich. I don't care if you buy a Lambo. I care about uncensorable value transfer. I'm talking about Bitcoin, Monero, Litecoin. Why? Because if I want to send you value, I don't need a bank. I don't need the Federal Reserve. I don't need SWIFT. I need an internet connection and a private key. They can't freeze a wallet they don't control. They can't inflate a currency they can't print. But it goes beyond crypto. It goes back to the basics, barter. When I was doing plumbing, I'd trade labor for goods all the time. I fix your furnace, you give me a side of beef. The IRS hates that. They want their cut. They want to know the fair market value so they can tax you on the labor you performed with your own two fucking hands. Screw them. Fuck them. Make the transaction invisible. If you are a carpenter, trade your skills for dental work. Or whatever. If you are a mechanic, trade your skills for firewood or whatever. Starve the beasts. Every dollar you move outside of the banking system is a dollar they cannot weaponize against you. This is what I mean by standing tall. It's looking at the system and saying, I do not recognize your authority to tax my survival. They call it the black market. I call it the free market, the only free market. Get your money out of their banks. Put it into assets. Put it into gold. Put it into ammo. Put it into land. Put it into code. Do not leave your life's work sitting in a digital database owned by a bank that is technically insolvent. I wanted to talk about just-in-time manufacturing. This is the philosophy that runs the world. Toyota invented it, Wall Street loves it, and the idea is simple. Don't store anything. Don't have a warehouse. Don't have inventory. Have the part arrive at the factory exactly 4 hours before it needs to be bolted onto the car. It's efficient. It makes the spreadsheet look great. It maximizes profit. And it makes the entire civilization incredibly fragile. We saw it in 2020. One flu virus. Holy fuck. Oh my god. One flu virus and the shelves were fucking empty. No toilet paper. Like, come the fuck on. No meat, no chips for cars. We saw it when the boat got stuck in the Suez Canal. One boat turned sideways and global trade fucking stopped. The people running this country have stripped the fat off the bone. But the fat is what keeps you alive in the wintertime. They traded resilience for quarterly profits, and you are doing the same thing. Open your pantry right now. Go look. How many days of food do you have? 3? 5? If the trucks stop running tonight, if the diesel runs out, or the cyber attack hits the grid, how long until your kids are hungry? If the answer is 3 days, you are negligent. You are failing your duty as a head of household. You are trusting the state to feed you. You are trusting the grocery store to be there. The overwrite is the rejection of just in time. We are going back to just in case. I want you to have a deep freezer. I want it full of beef from a local farmer. I want you to have water filtration, not a Brita pitcher, a real system. I want you to have medication, antibiotics, first aid. This isn't prepping for the apocalypse. This is being an adult. Our grandparents didn't call it prepping. They called it having a pantry. They knew that storms happened. They knew that hard times come. They didn't rely on government FEMA truck to bring them water. When you have 6 months of food in your basement, you are harder to coerce. And if your boss tells you to do something unethical or you lose your job, you can say, nope, fuck you, because you aren't desperate. If the government says, take this shot, or you can't buy groceries, you can say, I've got my own groceries. Inventory is liberty. If you are living hand to mouth, relying on the grocery store every Tuesday, you are on a leash, and they can yank that leash whenever the fuck they want. Cut the leash, buy the bag of rice, buy the generator. I'm an HVAC tech. I know what happens when the grid fails. Remember the derecho? Well, here in Iowa, we remember the derecho, which is just another fucking fancy word for a windstorm. The house gets cold pretty quickly, or it gets pretty fucking hot, or you have no power, you have no food, whatever. Do you have a wood stove? Do you have propane? Or are you sitting there with a smart thermostat connected to a grid that is being managed by diversity hires and wind turbines? Get real. The grid is fragile. The supply chain is a joke. You are the backup generator. You are the warehouse. Take responsibility for your own biological survival. Stop outsourcing it to people who despise you or who don't care about you, don't know you. We talked about the glass house in the last episode. We said the government needs to live in glass. We need to see everything they do, but you need to live in a black box. We are building a panopticon. That's a prison designed so the guard can see every cell at once. Your phone is the guard. Every text you send, every place you drive, every website you visit, it is all logged. It is all sold. Data brokers sell it to insurance companies to jack up your rates. They sell it to advertisers to manipulate your spending. And the government buys it to build a profile on you. They know who your friends are. They know what political rallies you attend. They know if you go to church. They know if you go to the gun range. This isn't paranoia. This is their business model. And the overwrite is going dark. You need to stop giving them the data. I have nothing to hide. I hear people say that. If you aren't doing anything wrong, why do you care? Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up with that weak, servile mindset. Please, just shut the fuck up. Do you have curtains on your windows? Why? Are you making meth in your living room? No? Then you have curtains because what happens in your house is none of their fucking business. Privacy is not about hiding a crime. Privacy is about maintaining dignity. It's about not letting a stranger catalog your fucking life. Use Signal. Use a VPN. De-Google your fucking phone. Stop using your real name on everything. Stop posting your location on Instagram. You are feeding the beast that wants to eat you. You are training an AI that will be used to flag you as a dissident. Encryption is the wall of your black box. They tell us encryption is for terrorists. They want to ban it. They want back doors so the FBI can keep you safe. Bullshit. Encryption is the digital equivalent of the Second Amendment. It is the right to secure your papers and effects. If you send an unencrypted email, you are sending a postcard. The postman can read it, the government can read it. If you use PGP, if you use Signal, you are putting the letter in a titanium envelope. They hate that. They want to see inside. Let them look at a blank wall. The grand overwrite is the refusal to be monitored. It is the refusal to be a statistic. You have the tools. They are free. It takes 10 minutes to set up. If you are too lazy to protect your own privacy, don't come crying to me when they freeze your bank account because they didn't like a meme you posted 5 fucking years ago. The internet is a battlefield. Put on your armor. I have just here recently been learning about all of that. I've been trying to get myself more knowledgeable in that area. So now I want to talk about who leads this. In the world we live in now, the world of the lie, status is determined by titles. Senator, doctor, director, CEO. We are taught to respect the title. We are taught that the credential makes the man. Look around. How's that working out? We have generals who can't win wars. We have economists. We have economists who crash the economy. We have public health experts who get every goddamn thing wrong. The credential is fake. The same people that cheat on the tests in middle school are the same people that are cheating on their doctorates. It's a piece of paper given by one incompetent institution to an incompetent person so they can get a job at another incompetent institution. The overwrite replaces the credential with competence. I don't care where you went to school. I don't care who your dad is. Can you fix the leak? Can you grow the food? Can you code the contract? Or can you shoot the azimuth? If your answer is no, you are useless. I don't care if you have a PhD. You are dead weight. I saw this at Adventure Palooza. I was riding with the team, Travis and the Doobie Brothers. When you are on a trail 50 miles from civilization and a bike breaks down, nobody asks to see your diploma. You stop. You assess. You fix it. When you are in the middle of bumfuck and you sure got a pretty mouth and you're not familiar with where you're at, and somebody gets in a wreck, which was my dad. My dad got in a wreck. He got in a pretty bad accident. I won't go into a lot of detail, but it was pretty brutal. When that happens, nobody stopped and asked me, "Do you got a diploma?" Or, I didn't look around and say, "Who's here? Who? What?" I didn't look around, or nobody looked around and asked who has the diploma. We stopped, we assessed, we made the exact calls that we needed to make. Luckily, there was a lady that was driving by we were able to flag down, which was just beyond luck, really. And that was probably the fastest I have ever expected to see any sort of first response, anything. We did what we could with the knowledge that we have. And everything may not have worked out great, but I'm still here and so is he. He's recovering. And that's about all you can ask for in a situation like that. But if only just the bike breaks down, well, you stop, you assess it, and then you fix it. And if you can't fix it, you tow it. There is no HR department to complain to. There is no diversity committee to ensure representation. There is only the trail, and the trail doesn't give a fuck about your feelings. That is the world we are building. A world of utility. The bureaucrats are terrified of competent men. A competent man doesn't need them. A competent man solves the problem that the bureaucrat is paid to prolong. If you fix the road, the Department of Transportation loses its shit and its budget justification. If you cure the patient, the pharmaceutical company loses a customer. They need you broken. They need you sick. They need you fucking stupid. The rebellion is competence. Get good at something. I don't care what it is. Welding, coding, gardening, ham radio, first aid. Master it. Be the guy that the neighborhood calls when the lights go out. Because when the system crashes, and it is crashing, the man with the title will be standing in the dark holding a piece of paper. The man with the skill will be turning the light back on. Be the man with the skill. My dogs, I have 2 German Shepherds, a male and a female. They know the difference between a guest and an intruder. I hope, I think, I'm sure, I think. Well, it doesn't sound like it, okay? They sound the same, but they know the difference. They don't need a law to tell them. I know the difference. I don't need the law to tell me. They don't need a permit. They have an instinct. And I've got guns. We have lost our instinct. And we're trying to get rid of our guns. The fuck? We have been trained to let the intruder in because he is wearing a suit. Because he has a clipboard. Because he says he's from the census or the Department of Revenue. The Overwrite is reclaiming the instinct of the guard dog. It is looking at the man with the clipboard and saying, "You do not have jurisdiction here. This is my fucking house and this is my family. Stand your ground. Not with violence, but with absolute unyielding firmness. No." It is the most powerful word in the language. No, you cannot come in. No, I will not comply. And no, I will not pay. Say it, practice saying it. Say it, and practice saying it. The moment you say no, their power evaporates because their power relies entirely on your agreement to pretend they are in charge. Stop pretending and don't automatically just run to gun, to violence. Violence is only a last resort. And if you had your instinct, you would know when it's time for last resort. This is the whole purpose of regaining the guard dog instinct. You heard the news this week, right? You've seen the videos coming in out of Minnesota. You've seen the raids in Los Angeles. They call it immigration enforcement. They call it border security. Open your fucking eyes. That is a standing army on American soil. I don't care what your stance is on the border. That's a distraction. Look at the method. Look at the precedent. There was a memo leaked in May of 2025, the May 12th directive. Maybe you missed it because you were watching fucking football. It authorized ICE agents to enter private residence with nothing but an administrative warrant. Do you know what an administrative warrant is? It's a piece of paper they wrote themselves. The judge didn't see it. The court didn't review it. It is the executive branch giving itself permission to kick down your fucking door. And now we see the result. They're raiding homes. They're stopping people on the street, citizens, because they fit the fucking descriptions. It's 1692 all over again. It's Salem. Back then, they didn't need proof to burn a witch. They just needed an accusation. They called it spectral evidence. If your neighbors said they saw your spirit attacking them, that was enough to hang you, or burn you, or drown you. Today, we just have better technology for the same witch hunt. Instead of spectral evidence, it's risk profile. Instead of hysterical neighbor, it's an algorithm in a data center in Utah saying you look like a problem. He fits the bill. Burn him. The mindset is identical. The only difference is that the pitchforks are now tactical rifles. You think this is just about illegals? You are a fool if you think that. Technology doesn't discriminate. A battering ram doesn't give a fuck who owns the house. Once they establish that they can suspend the Fourth Amendment for one group of people, they have suspended it for all people. They are testing the fence. They are seeing if the cattle will charge. And right now, the cattle are just chewing their crud. This crackdown isn't about safety, it's about conditioning. They are training you to get used to checkpoints. They are training you to get used to showing your papers. They are training you to accept that a federal agent in tactical gear has more rights to your property than you do. The Overwrite is rejecting this authority. If a man comes to my door with a warrant signed by a judge, I will read it. I will respect the law. But if a man comes to my door with an administrative order and a bad attitude, he is not a law enforcement officer. He isn't an armed trespasser. We need to stop worshiping the badge when the badge is being used to wipe its ass with the Constitution. This is the hard pill. This is the rude part. Some of you are cheering this on. You're saying, yeah, get them out. You're cheering for the machine that will eventually crush you. Today, they are looking for a migrant. Tomorrow, they are looking for a domestic extremist. And guess what their definition of extremist is? Someone who buys too much ammo, someone who uses cash, and someone who speaks out. Someone like me, someone like you. When you see those ICE vans rolling through your town, don't wave a flag, watch them, film them, and realize that they are practicing for the main event. It's not a conspiracy theory. Pay attention to the patterns. The most dangerous prison isn't the one with bars, It's the one inside your fucking skull. We are a nation of rule followers. We are a nation of permit seekers. Can I build a shed? Ask the city. Can I catch a fish? Ask the DNR. Can I start a business? Ask the Secretary of State. Can I cut some hair? Ask the licensing board. We ask for permission to live. The grand override is the death of the permission mindset. I want you to kill the cop in your head. The cop in your head is that little voice that says, I better not do this, I might get in trouble. I better not say this, I might lose my job. I better pay this tax, even though it's theft. That voice is their greatest weapon. It's conditioning. They don't need a guard on every corner if they can plant a guard in every brain. Stop asking. If you want to build a shed, build the fucking shed. If you want to sell a product, sell it. But be mindful about what you're doing. Don't obviously be fucking out to harm or whatever. That's where we draw the line. If you need a fucking lesson in morality, then goddamn it, we can teach it. If you want to modify your motorcycle, then fucking do it. But Jake, what if I get caught? So what? What are they gonna do? Fine you? Send you a letter? We are so terrified of a price of paper, or of a piece of paper with a government letterhead, we treat it like a death sentence. It's mail. Throw it in the fucking trash. The system is overwhelmed. They can't enforce everything. They rely on voluntary compliance. They rely on you being afraid of the possibility of punishment. If 10,000 people in Newton build unpermitted sheds, the city inspector can't do a goddamn thing. He quits. The law becomes obsolete because it is unenforceable. Civil disobedience isn't just holding a sign. It is ignoring them. It is rendering them invisible. Start small. But for the love of God, fucking start. Do something illegal today. I don't mean hurt someone. I don't mean steal. The natural law. Do not steal, do not kill is the only law that matters. Do not harm. I mean the statutory law, the bureaucratic law. Jaywalk. Tearing the flag off of a mattress, or the tag off of a mattress. Carry where you weren't supposed to. Reclaim the feeling of being a sovereign adult. You have been treated like a fucking child for so long, you have forgotten what it feels like to make a decision without looking at Daddy. Daddy is dead. We are the man of the house now. Let's talk about your friends. Most of you have drinking buddies. You have work friends. You have people you watch the game with. If the grid goes down tonight and the ice vans start kicking doors on their street, are those people going to show up? Or are they going to hide? If the answer is hide, you need new friends. You need a tribe. A grand overwrite is about building a local network of dangerous, competent men and women. A people. We're all in this together. This isn't about separation, segregation. No. It's the people. We, us. Me, you, them, everybody. I don't mean dangerous like criminals. I mean dangerous to the system. Men who can shoot, men who can grow food, men who can perform surgery, men who can fix a diesel engine. And I say men as in like everybody, so shut the fuck up if you're getting offended. This is not the place to be getting offended about stupid shit like that. We're not talking about that. If you want to talk about it, we can have a discussion about it later on. And I'm going to call you stupid and we can still talk about it. But here we're trying to talk about the override. What we need to do as Americans of the United States of America. Of citizens of the United States of America. You need to know who these men are in your town. And you need to be one of them. In Newton, I know a guy who can butcher a cow in 2 hours. I know a guy who can reload 5,000 rounds of 5.56 in a weekend. I know a guy who can set a broken bone. We don't have a club name. We don't wear patches. but we know each other. And if the call comes, we answer. This is how you survive the crackdown. The government wants you isolated. Quarantined. Oh no, that was a couple years ago. Yeah, no. No, now we're on to that was still conditioning, remember? That was still the prepping, testing. They want you to see something, say something. They want you to snitch. Reverse it. See something, do something. If your neighbor is being harassed by the state, you show up. You stand on his lawn, you bring your friends, and you don't start a fight, but you just stand there. 20 men standing silent, watching the agents. Obviously, you can carry, but make no effort to show any violence or force. Just be sure that you're prepared. It changes the dynamic. Don't be a spoiled little brat. Be the man of the house with the other men of the house, women of the house, whatever. The adults, the competent adults. We are all the same. We are all equal so long as we can learn to treat each other equal. To give trust is to get trust, and to get trust, you have to give it. It reminds the agent that he is outnumbered. It reminds him that he has to go home to his family too. Community defense is not about militias running around in the woods playing soldier. Although sometimes that's fun. If you have paintball, yeah, that's fun. Get a group of guys out, great time. It is about a neighborhood that refuses to be victimized. It is about the porcupine defense. We don't attack, but if you try to grab us, you're gonna fucking regret it. Build your circle, vet them, test them, go camping, see who complains when it rains, go shooting, see who is unsafe. Fix a car, see who gives up when the bolt is stuck. Filter out the weak, filter out the cowards, find the lions, and then feed them. We are at the end of the broadcast, and we are at the end of the illusion. For 3 episodes, I have tried to wake you up. I have tried to show you the wires, but I can't cut them for you, man. You have to reach behind your own fucking head, find the cable, and pull. It's gonna fucking hurt. It's gonna be difficult. You're gonna struggle. But when you disconnect from the system, you will feel cold. You will feel exposed. You won't have the false security of the manager telling you what to do. But you will be free. The Grand Overwrite is not a singular event. It is not a day on the calendar. And it's definitely a choice that you make every fucking morning when your feet hit the fucking floor. It is the choice to create rather than consume. It is the choice to use privacy rather than surrender data. It is the choice to build skills rather than buy services. It is the choice to be a citizen and not a fucking subject. The world is getting darker. I won't lie to you. The crackdown is real. The economy is dying. The empire is flailing. They are going to try to tighten the grip, but the tighter they squeeze, the more of us will slip through their fingers. We are the sand in the gears. We are the glitch in the signal. We are the variable that they cannot calculate. They have the tanks, they have the satellites, they have the printing press, but we have the reality. We have the soil. We have the tools. We have each other. And in the long run, reality always overwrites the illusion. So go out there, print the gun, grow the food, encrypt the drive, stand your ground. This is that one guy, and this is Unbound Out of Place. Signing off. I'll see you around to see what next we want to dive into. Toodles. This is no longer a theater of decay.